All right, some of the nuances when purchasing a solar system. Hi, welcome back to Real Estate Solar Solutions. My name is Rock Thomas, and I'm your host for today's session. I'm in studio with Alex. How's it going, Alex?
Pretty well, and you?
Good. So we were talking off camera about some of the nuances with solar purchases and some of the things that you're going to want to make sure that when you're purchasing a system, you ask your solar specialist who's selling it to you some of the little details. As an example, in Florida, they have some rules because of all the hurricanes they have there.
Yeah.
When you buy a certain size system, why don't you talk a little bit about that?
So essentially, like you said, there's a lot of nuances, a lot of the little things in the fine print, which is why it's so important to have someone by your side, solar advisor that's knowledgeable, that can translate all of that to you. But one of those things in Florida is whenever you have a solar system that's over 11.8 kilowatts, that's the production. It's how we calculate the size of a system. Whenever you reach that point, the homeowner is actually going to have a liability insurance of $1 million or more on that system.
Okay, so imagine you purchase a system that's larger than that, and your solar representative doesn't tell you that, and then you find out later you have this additional cost, which is about $150 a year.
Yeah.
It's not so much that it's that you want to have somebody who's going to tell you all of the factors up front so you can choose to make a wise decision. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you don't want to start having surprises on the road, right? All of the cards should be on the table right away. It's the only way you can make a decision that you truly know all of the factors before making it.
Yeah. Now, another thing that you may not know is DeSantis passed a bill in Florida that states that no HOA can prevent somebody from going solar. And so every state's a little bit different. Every county can even be different.
Yeah.
And when you look globally at all the factors, it's almost impossible for any one person, especially just a real estate agent that isn't actively getting educated, to know all the factors. Now, there's something called SRACs in some of the states, which is this additional way to get some solar credits. Have you ever had to deal with that?
I have, yes. I've had a few times, yeah, with brokers.
Right. So you can go from purchasing a solar system with the federal tax credits, which is in every state.
Yeah.
I think it's about 11 states last time I checked that have SRACs. And basically what they are is they're solar credits that it's like a penalty to the utility company because they haven't created enough green energy. And so for every 1,000 kilowatts that a homeowner produces, they get an additional check from the utility company. And every state's a little bit different. But as an example, if you're in DC, holy schmoly,
Yeah.
you're talking big bucks, big bucks. If you're in DC, call us right away because you may get paid to go solar. I'm serious.
Oh, yeah, we've seen it 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, right?
You're like, imagine for every 1,000 kilowatts that you produce, you get $432 or something like that from the utility company per 1,000 kilowatts. And if you've got an average home, you're going to be producing at least what, 12,000, 15,000 kilowatts a year.
Yep.
So that's like, say, 15 times 400 is how much? $6,000 every year for 15 years.
Exactly.
Hello. And people don't know this.
No.
So part of the reason we started this show is that we wanted to give people the education that isn't happening out there. I couldn't find it. You know, after 32 years in real estate, I started consulting in solar, and I started to help solar teams build through door knocking and purchasing leads and all that kind of good stuff, and through their sphere of influence. And then I started to work with realtors, and I'm saying, a realtor's in the home of so many people. Why wouldn't they just refer people to go solar?
Yeah.
And that's when we realized that agents didn't like solar because they didn't know how to sell with solar. It wasn't that solar's bad, it was just a lack of education.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a whole lot of misconception around solar when it comes to that. And a lot of brokers have been feeling like solar represents a danger to the transaction.
Yeah.
Just because they're not able to educate their client or educate themselves as to what's the added value of having solar in the home.
Yeah. So if you're in DC, imagine you're in DC and you could start advertising that you are a solar expert. And that if you choose to go solar, you could actually get paid and you could show people how that happens. And you don't have to actually be the person. You just affiliate yourself with somebody like Alex. He'll do the heavy lifting for you and you can make your clients super, super happy. And that was the original intent, that we wanted to move into these strategic relationships. And then we discovered all the nuances. But let me sum it up for you like this, is every state's different. So, for instance, in Arizona, you get $1,000 from the state, or in California, you get zero from the state. But when you go to, Illinois or New Jersey or Philadelphia or DC, Maryland, you get some of these SRACs, they're called, and that sweetens the pot. So when you layer in the different things, in most cases, it makes a lot of sense. However, when you have a neighbor who purchased solar and tried to sell their house and had a bad experience, and now you're considering solar, that might be enough to deter you from considering going solar. Have you seen that happen?
Oh yeah, yeah. Sometimes you'll call people or contact, homeowners or realtors. It'll be so easy for them to just, shy away from it because they don't understand it or they've heard stories, right?
Yes.
But the question is, you've heard a story, but have you been proactive and done a process to actually learn on yourself, right? Get the information yourself, get educated on it, be able to understand maybe why your neighbor had a bad experience.
Yeah. And so one of the things that was near and dear to my heart as a real estate person for over 30 years was, how do we help people go green? How do we help people take advantage of the Inflation Reduction Act and all of these credits that are out there while keeping the real estate transaction top of mind? And if we can keep that transaction in integrity, if we can help them package it in a way where they can actually make a profit, make their savings, and in spite of when they sell it, whether it's 2 years later or 20 years later, it gets to be packaged professionally, so it's an asset. Give me an example in real estate of what are some of the best things to do to a property to renovate that property that increase the value of a home. What are some of the things at the top of that list?
Well, simplest things are kitchen, bathroom, floors, light fixtures, ramps, anything that's aesthetic and everything that brings kind of the crispiness in the home. Right.
What are some of the worst things that you can do? What are some of the things that are very personalized that bring not so much value?
When people talk about painting, won't do anything to do it.
I just freshly painted my whole house. Cost me 20 grand. I want 20 grand.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna go like that. Never. And other things, when it comes to the look of it, some designs that you've seen either encastré or in the windows, or even like some fancy pavillon in front of the home. Yes, there's a value to it. I know it costs you an amount of money to get it done. Doesn't mean that the buyer sees that value.
What about the guy who's renovated his own, let's say, basement, and he put in 10-inch nails and he made it really strong? Does that add extra value?
No. No.
But he thinks it does in most cases, right?
Yes, he will absolutely think it does. In most cases, it'll also be enough to start, a conversation. Our conversation, but not more than that.
And what about if you put an in-ground pool in Minnesota or something like that, where you get to use it for like 5 weeks of the year?
Will be tough.
Right?
Will be tough. Yeah.
So there are things that add value and things that don't add as much value. And a solar system now is just another box or line item on the appraiser's system. And we at Real Estate Solar Solutions are looking to help those appraisers understand how to truly position that as an asset and not a liability. And up till today, in most cases, due to a lack of information or ignorance, nobody knows how to do it. And so if you're a homeowner, we're on your side. If you're a real estate agent, we're on your side. But we got to work together through education and through communication to help the homeowner win, and so that honestly the purchaser gets what they're paying for.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so hopefully that was useful for you today. Remember to like, subscribe, share it with people that need this information, and we continue to keep you informed on how to sell your house with solar in a clean and smooth fashion.